My name is Patience Mabuza, and I serve as the event coordinator for the HackerRank campus at UNISA. For those who may not know us, the HackerRank campus crew is a dedicated team of student leaders committed to fostering a strong coding culture, creating opportunities for students to learn, grow, and prepare for successful careers in technology. Today's conversation is an important one because we are living in an era where artificial intelligence is rapidly transforming the tech industry. As technology evolves, new skills are becoming increasingly important, and as students, we need to prepare ourselves for an AI-driven workplace. The biggest question we are exploring today is, how can we stay in the future? We are privileged to have distinguished speakers joining us to share their experience, insight, and guidance on how we can navigate the ever-changing world of technology. Without further ado, it is my great pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Ms. Boikanyo. Please join me in giving a warm welcome to Ms. Boikanyo.
Thank you. I'll just be presenting my screen right now. Let me know if you can see.
Okay. I just need to stop recording. Okay. There we go.
Okay, let me do this. Please just give me a sec.
No problem.
Cool. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes, you can.
Cool, thank you. So my name is Boikanyo Radiokana. I'm currently a senior data scientist at Netcare. So I'll just be taking you through what the AI landscape looks like in terms of, careers, how we do things, the expectations nowadays, tools, and so forth. Also, feel free to ask any questions as we go on. So just a bit about myself. As I've said, I'm a senior data scientist with a background in electrical and information engineering from Wits University, as well as a master's in big data science from the University of Pretoria. And yeah, specialization-wise, I work mostly with your traditional ML models, deep learning models, even AI, your language models, and particularly in the financial services sector, where we basically build data-driven solutions, right, to make business impact. And my work spans across projects in your fraud detection, credit scoring, your CVM use cases, and the likes. And I'm really passionate about continuously developing myself and also the youth out there, even from a career point of view, just giving nuggets of knowledge on, what one can do to excel in the field. Just maybe by comments, I just want to understand, we have what, first years, third years, fourth years? So
I would say a mixture.
it's a mixture. Okay, perfect. So let's just maybe dive into, AI's impact on today's jobs, right? A study was conducted by McKinsey Global Institute, which showed that, an estimation of $13 trillion is foreseeable in around 2030 in terms of, additional global economic activity, and also an increase in the GDP cumulatively, which is like on average like 1.2% increase in the GDP, right? So as an organization, literally you would want to jump on that AI train. But what organizations right now face is they really don't know how to use AI for revenue generation, right? Which is where people like you need to, like with your innovative skills, need to now think about, don't just think about, yay, I can code, yay, I understand what AI is. Now it's about driving value. How are you going to bring value to the organization, whether it's operational, whether it's from a business point of view, commercial, whichever the case is, right? So a lot of organizations want to embed AI in their processes to optimize, to improve efficiencies, but they sometimes don't even know how to, right? So when also looking at how this is changing work, particularly from a job aspect, right? Majority of the jobs are now augmented. Yes, over time, we'll see a large replacement. That's because AI is embedded in trying to automate repetitive tasks and so forth. But we are now seeing roles being reshaped rather than disappearing entirely. And most of these roles encapsulate, your ML, data science, AI ethics, governance, and also just, creating demand for a hybrid skill set. And when looking at from a job augmentation, also you're seeing an increase in AI-driven roles, like your prompt engineers, you have your AI engineers, your AI product specialists, and so forth. So even new roles are emerging from this AI train. So also from a entry level dynamics, it's really affecting the landscape, mainly because of, things that are now considered at a junior level are now being, replaced by, agents, AI agents. Um, your cloud platforms also encapsulate a component of your language models. Now you can now like interact with your data. It's highly integrated within these platforms, right? So now what this creates is all, the junior level workflows are replaced, and it's now raising the standard in terms of what entry level looks like. I've also seen from a qualifications point of view, most of the roles that are advertised now consist mainly of like, they want masters now. So now you then have to, not that I'm scaring you guys or anything, but it's now going to be a bit challenging to, get into the job market. Just because you know how to code, it's not enough, right? You need to be able to position yourself in a way that speaks to business priorities, measuring business value, and all of those things. And when looking at the third point, right, AI human workspaces, like I was saying, most of these things are now embedded in our day-to-day work. Things like your BI, business intelligence and visualization. That's something that you can usually do on the fly right now. with your coding assistants and so forth, right? So also if let's say, for example, things like something as simple as back then, software engineers really loved to use Stack Overflow as their go-to, right? Now, productivity-wise, people now adopt language models to solve their problems. It's faster, productivity is increased, and it's quite easy to use, right? So you need to think about putting or positioning yourself in a way that you can use it in your day-to-day job. People who are going to be successful are the ones who really adopt it, because now they're going to be more productive. They're going to look more skilled, but which is not necessarily the case. So we can't shy away from it. It's there. It's not leaving anytime soon. You just have to adopt and upskill yourself in this area. So also looking at the fastest growing jobs, research was done looking at the fastest and also most fastest declining jobs. And you can see even the top 5 is just big data, fintech engineers, which look at your cybersecurity specialist and so forth, AI, machine learning, your software dev, so even platform engineers, because they're now required to build platforms that can, carry all these heavy load applications that we're now creating nowadays. So the shift is there, and it's noticeable, and you just need to position yourself in a favorable aspect. And then when looking at what employers value the most, right, from a technical and professional aspect, like I said, strong coding fundamentals. Yes, right now you can easily say, please code this application for me, but sustainability, you need to understand what that language model is giving you back. You need to be able to defend why it is that you used whatever approach that you are using, or also considering the best practices, even on the platforms that you are using, because it can vary, right? So good coding and cloud platforms, employers now look at that also from a programming perspective. You'll now be put on, on spot, what do you call, assessments, where they want to see if you can code, are you able to solve problems under pressure and so forth. And also from a data literacy point of view, this is not just for machine learning engineers or data scientists. Also, even software engineers are required to be data illiterate, because they do support building applications that can host uh, the work that's done by your machine learning engineers, even your data scientists, right? Also maintaining pipelines, monitoring machine learning pipelines. You need to be able to speak to that, to say what do you look at when you're monitoring a model, right? Your data drifts and all of those things. And also have knowledge of machine learning approaches and frameworks. Just knowing, for example, how an XGBoost works is not enough. You need to be able to know when to apply what model for what scenario in what industry, even like model matrices, how to measure what, when, which are the best metrics to use in what situation, right? So it's very important, as well as your version control, continuous integration and development practices, and then also system design and API integration. So those are some of the skills technically that we see that are upcoming mostly. Also, one thing that I forgot to add here is your language models, right? Not just understanding how they work, but also being able to deploy to production. Because a lot of organizations, what they're saying, they can't really manage the costs that comes with your language models, because when you look at it from a tokenization point of view, and the customers that you are servicing, or whatever the case might be, you need to think of costs. Are you gonna develop a large language model, or are you going to develop one that uses a small language models for cost optimization? So those are the things that you need to look at. And professionally, just being able to, communicate your technical details clearly, even to a non-technical audience, is very important. Because you do get in instances where like your interview panel does consist of non-technical people that really want to understand how would you improve their operations, or whatever the case might be, using AI. Because another thing is, a lot of people just say AI, 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 but literally there are references to your ChatGPT and so forth, right? And AI can come in different forms. You're looking at your agents, even machine learning, your deep learning, everything encapsulates all of that, right? So being able to communicate that even to a non-technical audience is very important. And yeah, critical thinking, your problem-solving skills, and also just understanding how the landscape is evolving, and also being able to function across cross collaboration, or rather across various teams, because most of the time now what we're seeing is organizations have now separated concerns in terms of the roles. You now have your data scientists, your data engineers, your data analysts, machine learning, your DevOps. So being able to just cross collaborate amongst all of that is also important. And ownership. Ownership, by that I mean you must be able to take a project from start to end independently, understanding the life cycle of the projects that you're working on, whether it's from a software development life cycle, whether it's from a data science development life cycle, or even a machine learning one. Just knowing how these components come together, and also taking ownership. Are you able to work independently? Are you able to get things done? And your ethical judgment when it comes to working with AI systems. Yes, these organizations have largely like operate using your Microsoft platform, which most of them have enterprise protected open AI, or even ChatGPT, right? But your ethical judgment when it comes to, like, are you just giving it everything? As much as, yes, it's enterprise protected, but are you able to use it securely? The guardrails that you include in your AI systems that you build, will they be able to withstand different attacks? Because now you're thinking about, if we're going to put this in a customer facing environment, won't they use it against us? So some things of those nature you need to consider. Any questions so far? I think I've said a mouthful. I can see hands. So, oh, good. All right. And then I'll just continue then. In terms of like building your portfolio, right? These are some of the things that you can consider. Especially because some of you, let's say they're still in your first, second, third years, that's an opportunity for you to build an online presence that utilizes your tools like your GitHub to showcase your work, also cross-collaborating amongst open source projects, just to demonstrate your skills and abilities, right? And just don't use like things like your Irish data sets and whatnot. Use actual, data sets that you can relate to business value, or you can translate or communicate business KPIs with. I think that will also be useful, even if it's not something that you've implemented in like production environment, but to show that you really understand how businesses work, that could also be beneficial. And on your CV, right? It's very important when you highlight your capabilities or your experience. Don't just say, I did XYZ. You did XYZ, and what did it translate into, right? The outcomes. Your work needs to be measurable. It needs to demonstrate impact and also highlight your tech stack as well. I think it's also very important to have your clear, concise points that are also, don't just put bullet points because they are your experiences. They must tell a professional story of how you got to be where you are, right? It needs to be a professional journey that demonstrates growth. And also building an online presence includes, from a networking point of view, engaging on topics or posts on LinkedIn that are related to your field of interest. Show that you're interested. Some people get hired purely because someone liked their idea. They started conversing around the subject, and that's how you get opportunities. And yeah, attending hackathons, conferences and so forth. I think it's also really a good place to network, to also build your profile as well, from the projects that you'll be doing. Then when looking at some of the advices that you can consider, right, when it comes to staying relevant within the AI industry, you need to, it's moving so fast, it's evolving. You need to ensure that you continuously, evolve, you develop, and even if it's like what can I say? Try to build your portfolio. Or diversify, when investing in stocks, you diversify your portfolio. Also think about the tools that you can diversify, because a lot of organizations, some of them are using AWS, some of them are using Azure, some Databricks, whatever the case might be, right? So try to familiarize yourself, even if you haven't used it, but try to familiarize yourself with how it works and the applications and so forth. And yeah, online courses, getting certified in whatever route you want to be in. And yeah, building your network, like I've said, always engage, have mentors, very important, because they can really guide you and help you, they can help you tailor your career in a way that aligns to industry standards and so forth, right? So you also don't have to struggle every time because they've gone through similar things, from even not just from a tech aspect, but from what's this? Your interpersonal skills aspect. It's very important. They can guide you even in like challenging situations, and also be adaptable. Be adaptable. The business will always have new requirements, new set of tools, and be open to change. Always raise your hand up when opportunities come, especially the ones that demonstrate your AI capabilities, right? If it's even from an automation point of view, something small, like automating a process that you saw a manager do manually or so forth, just to show them value and to show them opportunities that are there within the skill set that you have, even within the tools that you use on a daily basis. So yeah, looking at some of the career paths, I'm just going to highlight these from a software engineering. Like I said, all these things now come together. Software engineering is no longer just about building applications. It's also about hosting, making them scalable, making them AI enabled, right? So you need to upskill even from that point. Your data science and AI, the typical machine learning analytics, model development, your maintaining your language models and so forth, and your cloud computing from a scalable infrastructure. Like I said, there's various cloud platforms that one can think about, and then platform engineers, as you can see, they're just optimizing developer workflows and creating enterprise grade technology that's able to host all of this. So yeah, man, I would say upskill, upskill. I see questions on the chat. Sorry, I didn't see. A friendly reminder. Okay, that's P. Mabuza. Okay, I have a question. What is the best way for someone to switch into tech when studying BSc in biochemistry? Do you think looking for data science learnerships is best, or teaching yourself through online platforms as well as YouTube is better? Okay, so I think it's Ronaldo, right? So like I've said, I don't know if you saw, but my background is in electrical engineering, right? And I made it a point for me to work on a research project that had components of machine learning, right? As much as machine learning was not part of my core courses that I was doing at that point, but I was like, this is the direction. Data science is the path I want to follow. And I need to start now while I'm still at school, right? So the Kaggle competitions online, those are like build your online profile based on just open source projects that are there, right? Yes, you can start on YouTube and whatnot, but you have courses like your Udemy. There's various learning platforms, right, that you can use for this. But also think about in your particular domain like biochemistry, how can you encapsulate AI, machine learning, deep learning, whatever the case might be, into it? The projects that you do, right? Yes, you would have familiarized yourself with the concept, but applying it in your industry as well, right? So you can, at the end of the day, have the best of both worlds, right? Being able to adopt or rather adopt the knowledge that you have learned in biochemistry, but also infusing it with the knowledge that you would have gotten. So pivoting doesn't look like, yes, you are leaving everything and you are moving, but do it slowly by applying that knowledge in your field. Then at the end of the day, you will have something to show using the work that you've done. You'll also be confident in translating those insights well, because it would have been something that you've been learning all along, right? So look for opportunities within your field on how you can use AI tools, machine learning and deep learning. And then I'm seeing okay, one, find mentors. I feel look, man, first and foremost, attending these hackathons, attending these networking events and all of that, that's where you find like people who are readily available to mentor, young and upcoming people in the industry, right? So attend these talks, attend conferences, attend whatever the case might be. And also just on LinkedIn, ask if you see that you're following someone who's posting regularly on things that you're interested on, or you can see that their profile, it's something that you aspire to, just, message them, DM them and say hi. But don't just say hi, how are you, and leave it there. No, get straight to the point. Hi, my name is whoever. I've done work in 1, 2, 3. This is what I'm trying to do. Can you please be my mentor? Get straight to the point, give all the details, and you might get lucky. And then from your experience, how much linear algebra would you say you've used on the job? Do you need to know some of the more advanced concepts, eigenvalues, eigenvectors, span tensors, and etc. Okay, so linear algebra, yes, I have used in my daily job, especially, for example, I guess also let's look at your traditional ML models. Some of them, okay, I'm trying to scroll. Some of them are based on your linear algebra applications, but like it's not as theoretical as you would think, right? Yes, in university we learn the theory, we learn the theorems and the proofs and all of that. It's important for you to understand. Let me actually give you an interesting example. We're building a credit scoring application, right? I had developed one, and the risk is undertaken, for example, by a bank. Another organization would build the scorecard. What, let's say, for example, what you see in your clear score, it would say you have 550 points in terms of your credit score, right? How that's calculated uses various models, statistical analysis and all of that, right? But the bank was like, why did you use XYZ approach instead of this model instead? So I had to now go back to the math of um, like motivating why this makes sense to use. I had to like put it down to the T to say why it goes to whatever, whatever, and when this is affected, whatever the case might be. So it's don't just cruise because they are presenting it in your courses. Really understand them, because they do have impact when you have to motivate why you're making certain decisions in your work. So it's important to know and understand. And then who's this? Krista. Can you share some knowledge on knowing how to balance networking and upskilling? Like, for example, someone who wants to bridge into data science and analytics, and then through the process had to take short courses, attending conferences, datathons, and webinars, but gets overwhelmed and stuck. I'm not sure whether the path you took is helping or not. Short question is how to learn effectively, understanding of consuming so much information without learning to progress. I think if I'm understanding you right, it also comes, or rather, it's overwhelming with Tingiko. Do you have a question?
No.
Okay, because I see you. Can you okay, thank you. So Krista, what I'm getting from you is that it gets overwhelming because there's also so much to learn, right? The industry is evolving. There's new tools every other day. When you think you know ChatGPT, there's DeepSeek, when there's DeepSeek, whatever the case might be, right? But you need to choose your niche. You need to choose what it is that you want to excel in, the space, the domain, and tackle it from that aspect, right? Don't try to learn everything. Like even me, as someone who's senior in their work, I, I can't stand here today and say I know everything. No, but high level, try to understand how certain concepts work, but try, like, do you want to be an expert in LLMs? Then go that route. Do you want to be an expert from a traditional ML aspect and deep learning? Go that route, right? But just choose what it is that you want to master and also finish. Like, I also struggled early in my career. I used to start courses on Udemy, but I never finished them, right? It gives great pleasure when you can put something on your CV to say, I've completed this course and I know how to use it in industry. So you won't finish this pie. Like I said, even the conferences that you attend things that speak to the direction you want to take, and keep to that track. in terms of also, like it allows you to measure your progress as well. And then what cloud platform would you recommend we go for between AWS, Azure, and I haven't used Google Cloud. I've mostly used AWS and then Azure partially, but it depends, man. It depends on the industry you are in. It depends on the tools that you need to use, how good and how fast and how scalable it needs to be. But for now, in terms of from a machine learning aspect, let's say, for example, I've used AWS and now I'm using Databricks. I would definitely say Databricks all the way because of how it's integrated. Also from a DevOps point of view, it's quite good. Integration, I mean, like you are able to access services within the platform without requiring access, without having to specify restrictions and all of that. So it's quite nicely integrated as compared to AWS. It's like it works in silos. It's one platform, but a lot of things work in silos. And you always have to, either it's a permission issue or whatever the case might be. But it depends which space or domain you're in. And then I think it's Patience, ne? Mabuza. I hope I got your name right. Please do let me know if, because I see that time has passed. I'm not sure if I'm the only speaker. I don't want to take other people's time. Let me know if I need to stop. I see, let me just answer this last question. And then, hi ma'am, earlier on you said nowadays a master's degree is required for higher odds of getting opportunities. For someone who wants to break into data science, would getting honors in stats or mathematical science alongside appropriate certifications? Yes, definitely. It would still set you apart. Okay, it definitely would set you apart because a lot of people go into this just understanding black box how things work. You will be able to from a statistical analysis point of view, I think you'd be at a greater position. So just think about, don't just take a upper qualification because it's there. Think about your career profile, what you want it to look like. Is it something that you're going to enjoy? Does it make sense in the field you want to be in? So think logically, try to think about where do I want to be in the next 10, 20 years, and will this be relevant? So definitely your stats and mathematical science will always remain relevant. I think this is the last question I'm going to take. I'm currently studying BSc in IT and recently got enrolled in a bootcamp for data science. That's great since there weren't any alternatives offered at college. My question is if companies also consider bootcamp certifications since they are not the conventional industry standard paths towards. Yeah, definitely. It works in your favor because it shows that you have knowledge within that particular domain. So don't just, yes, I did mention that a lot of organizations are now looking at people with masters, but that doesn't mean when you have a BSc or whatever the case is, you won't qualify. You will still qualify. Just that, yes, entry level you will get in, né? But progressing, let's say in your senior roles and so forth, most of them want that master's qualification. So immediately when you start working, I would say one needs to look at, okay, this is something I want to like, even when you are, let's say, in graduate programs or whatever the case is, try to ask for rotations within the various business units that you'll be in, just to see, okay, is this something that I'm interested in? Because it will also speak to, let's say when you're applying for bursaries within the organization itself, they look at, will the qualification you are doing benefit us in the long run? If yes, then go for it. If no, it has nothing to do with us, so we won't fund you, right? So position yourself in a space where you want to grow. Then from there on, then decide, okay, this is what I want to do my master's in. Sometimes it might not even be related. That's still okay, because you know your picture, you know where it is that you want to end up. So definitely, like I said to you, from a professional growth aspect, I also enroll on courses on Udemy if there's something new that I want to learn. It works in my favor because in these interviews and some things, I can speak to that. I can say, okay, I've recently completed a course in 1, 2, 3, and I learned X, Y, Z, and this is how I can apply it. This is how I can see it improving the current things that we're working with, or whatever the case might be. So upskill, and yes, those boot camps, they are good, but also try to always speak to what have you learned from what it is that you have done. Yeah, I think this is it for now from my end. I don't know, Smanga or Pima Buza, if you have anything. I see we can conclude, and thank you so much, guys. I was looking forward to other people just asking questions, but I see you've put them on the chats. I really appreciate the interactions. And yeah, wishing you all the best in your future endeavors. And please always upskill. Feel free to also connect with me on LinkedIn, and all the best.
Thank you so much, Ms. Boikanyo, for such an insightful and inspiring presentation.
Thank you.
We still have a few minutes. I don't know if anybody else has questions.
Thank you, guys. I think
Nobody else has a question. I don't know. I'll check on the chat. No, I don't think anybody else has a question.
Good evening.
Evening.
I just wanted to find out, in terms of master's degree, master's degrees, which ones are beneficial towards somebody who wants to go into the data sciences, the machine learnings. Is it a plain master's in computer science, or a master's in a maths program, or even something like robotics? Can they still go into machine learning, or a master's in artificial intelligence?
Like I said, at the end of the day, it's also up to you, right, to draft out what your career path you want it to look like. But when looking at, for example, in my case, I did a master's in big data science. But from where I'm standing, I wish I had done, because I remember it was when the whole ChatGPT thing, I had felt or thought, it has saturated, it will get out of fashion soon. But now I wish I had taken courses in large language models, right? So now that's something I have to do to upskill on the side. So universities like Stellenbosch, it does have a great AI and ML master's program. Even UP, I think it's a good one. Wits is also a good one, but it takes a bit longer. That's one thing I know. So you can also still delve onto your statistical approaches and whatnot, but right now, I think where the world is moving, it would be beneficial because even in the data science master's one, let's say, for example, the big data science one that I did, we still cover statistical concepts, right? We had to do proofs, we had to statistically analyze things and all of so think about what your toolbox, what do you want to have in your toolbox? Is it only the math side of things, or is it both math and the technical side of things? So I think about it from that aspect to say, do you want to grow technically, or or you want to focus more on the statistics part of business, because there's also your actuarial posts, even in data science still, they are more statistical than others. So just think about which approach you want to use. There are quite a great master's programs within organizations, I mean, universities that I've mentioned. I'm not familiar with other ones, but I'm sure they also do have great ones. So yeah, I hope I answered your question. Cool, thanks.
Thank you so much, Ms. Boikanyo.
Thank you,
We
guys. Have
truly
a
appreciate it.
evening. I also appreciate the opportunity and all the best in your studies as well.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, bye.
Our next speaker needs no introduction. It is my pleasure to welcome Ms. Sanskruti Joshi, the marketing specialist at HackerRank. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in a warm welcoming Ms. Joshi.
Thank you so much for the lovely introduction. I hope I'm audible.
Yes, you are.
Amazing. Okay. Thank you everyone for joining, tuning in from wherever you are. I'm super, super glad to be back here and addressing all of you on the question which is super, super, I would say, popular these days among students. What's happening in the market? How do we prepare for jobs? How do we get a job? HackerRank is the hero of it. We've been doing it for last over a decade, and we have some very cool updates and insights that I'm going to share today with you all. Allow me to share my screen. Please let me know once you can see that.
Of course, 2 minutes, please. I'll stop sharing mine.
Okay, is it visible?
Not yet. Oh, yes, it is now.
Okay, perfect. Cool. So let's address the elephant in the room, the tech job market in the era of AI. I've been hearing a lot of things around me on how AI has been changing not just a particular field, but I think every field right now. So the reason I'm here, guys, is I was a developer myself in my college days. I was a computer science student. I shifted into marketing because of sole interest, but I still feel a lot of things right now that I'm doing is what I would do if I was a developer, because right now everybody is a developer. Everybody needs to build something, irrespective of the fact whether you are a marketer, you're a, I would say, even a content creator or something like that. You need to build something cool because there's so many things, so many tools available out in the market which will make you a top tier developer. So let's discuss, irrespective of all the audience who's there. If you want to be a developer, you don't want to be a developer, these slides are going to be a gold mine for you. So let's discuss about all of these things in the most interactive way as we can. Okay, so let's start with a quick question. How many of you have used Chat GPT or any other AI tool to help with an assignment, to write code, to understand a concept? I'm not able to see the screen, but I'm expecting almost everyone, because I think nowadays for me, Google comes on the second level. I think my go-to platform is either GPT or Claude. I even look up for the GK questions on these tools. So I think my trust level has been more towards AI tools rather Google. So I think everybody of us daily, I think we use 50% of all of our work or more than that has been done by AI tools, right? Cool. So why does this matter? Why are we discussing this thing here? So AI isn't coming, guys, it's already here. It's actually right in front of us, between us. So we already are a part of this, and we need to learn how we can build and work with it. A lot of you sometimes ask a question, which is, will AI change software engineering? Will AI change the job that I have right now? How will I work with AI? I think it already has appeared, it already is there. What needs to be the framing is, what does that mean for you in your career, how you can cope up with it. Because if we just sit here and if we just rant about it, I don't think we'll be able to get there. Because let's all accept the fact it's here, it's working, and every day there's something new happening. So how we can cope up is the new question that we can start asking, and I can start answering. Let's take a front row seat and let's talk about what are we and what do we do. So we see both sides of the tech industry. I think a lot of you might know about HackerRank. Just quickly giving you a download of what do we do. We are a millions of community of users. We have millions of developers that come to HackerRank every day to practice coding, to prepare for their interviews, to build their careers. At the same time, we have thousands and thousands of companies as well who come to our platform to use our platform and hire tech talent. We have multiple roles, multiple I would say features which helps recruiters make their jobs easier. Earlier, I think recruiters used to have a lot of stress while hiring developers, because they need to have like some sort of technical knowledge as well around it. But HackerRank has made everybody's life easier. So now a technical person, irrespective of whether they are into the pipeline or not, anybody can hire anyone. Let's talk about the major question. AI isn't replacing developers, it's changing what developers do. I think this is the slogan that I want to see on everybody's WhatsApp and all of the social channels, because this is like the OG tag and it's here to stay at least for a year, I can promise. It's changing whatever we are doing right now. It's not going to replace you. I promise. HackerRank promises this for sure. It's just changing the work that we do. If you're not able to cope up with that, we might have an issue there. But apart from that, it will just change the job type. It will never replace you. Let's talk about then versus now, what things used to be versus how things have been changed. So coding is getting easier, but engineering isn't. This is like a very strong statement line. While I was building this deck, I thought this was like the best line I could have come up with. A few years ago, I think to a lot of you, you might not know, but I was from that era where GPT didn't exist. I feel like it was years back then, but it was not that back. It was in 2019. So in 2019, we used to have a platform called Stack Overflow. Some of you might know. For the others, it was like the OG platform where you go and you'll find your answer. So I would say a lesser known version of ChatGPT. We never used to have ChatGPT, so we used to go to Stack Overflow and used to look for solutions every now and then. Now, there were 10 browsers open. There was so much of crowded things, so many books, documentations, and it used to take us hours to fix certain solutions, because our go-to person, either they used to be the faculties or these trusted platforms. We didn't have AI back then. But let's quickly talk about today now. So today we are open. We are open to an AI assistant before Stack Overflow. We have so many AI tools right now who will help you out with every possible step that they can. You can go and ask AI to write a function. What am I saying? Not a function. You can exactly go and tell AI what do you want, and in minutes, in seconds, you'll have it ready. You can also ask AI to explain an error, a kickstart a project. So for example, I wake up this morning, I see the weather climate app, and I feel like this is not it. I need some new features. I go to Claude, I go to someplace else, give a prompt, and voila, I have the app ready. So this is a feasibility which is there in the market. Now it has its own pros and cons as well. Me being a marketer was able to build an app, not a very functional one, but a basic one, in less than seconds. And on the other hand, there are full stack developers who would take weeks to build it. So there are certain things which I think might cause a lot of tension amongst you all students, but we are going to address all of these things, and we're going to talk about how things have changed and how we can cope up now. Let's talk about still very human part. So companies right now, they're hiring in bulk, guys. Nobody has stopped hiring. I know every day when you wake up, you see news articles saying Microsoft has laid off thousands of people, Amazon has laid off like again 10 thousands of people. I understand this is happening, but at the same time, if you go and check their career pages, you would see so many open roles. There's a huge company called Codex, you all might know about it. Codex right now is hiring for 200 plus roles, and 200 plus roles are specifically for developers. So hiring has not gone down. The only change is hiring, the way it is being hired, a person is being hired, and the role. So earlier, the role used to be very specific to a particular developer niche. For example, they used to hire for a front end developer, a back end developer, a full stack developer. But now the entire hierarchy and the system has changed. Now they're hiring for new roles. Let's take an example. We have a new role opened in the company. It's called a it's basically like something where in the sales team only, where these people are engineers, but they are into the sales team. And we recently have onboarded two interns in that role. This is the first time we have onboarded them, and their role designation is called FDE. It's called forward deployed engineer. So these are the new things that we're doing in the company, not just HackerRank, all over the world. So companies don't pay people to type code; they actually are paying them to solve real world problems. Earlier, there was a time where people used to just get people who are good at syntaxes. They can just manually sit and do stuff repetitively, the same thing over and over again. But now we need people who can solve problems. We need people like FDEs, the interns that we hire, who can go to the crowd, who can speak to them, who can understand what are your requirements, what do you want from us, what is the customer asking for, come back, build that, and ship it. This is the kind of change that a developer role has been. Earlier, what used to happen, people, was these developers used to stay very low key. I remember during our times, there was a taboo of how a developer would look, and we all would say somebody who's in a corner, person who's isolated, he just focuses on his laptop, he's not social at all. But now all of these things have changed. A person who's a developer needs to be in the ground, needs to understand the real world problem and then solve it. So these are the kind of things people look for in the industry. Now this slide is very important, everyone. These are the exact things that I personally have seen being in the marketing industry, interacting with customers. These are the things that they're looking for in every role they hire. They're looking for understanding users, designing systems, making trade-offs, finding bugs, working with teammates, and decision with no obvious answers. So these are the cool things they're looking for in new hires that they make. Interns, medium level, senior people, everybody, somewhere these particular things will come off. So please make sure that you're not just confined towards go code and leave. No, that's not the exact job that they're giving. You need to solve problems, you need to figure out solutions, you need to speak to customers, you need to understand it, and you need to solve them there. Let's talk about how many of you have actually copied code from Stack Overflow without fully understanding it. I'm not sure. While I was drafting this, I thought that somebody might know about Stack Overflow here, but I believe that this crowd is very young and might not have much context around it, which is completely fine. This was something that I used to do a lot when I was in campus, but let's skip this up. Okay, let's jump on to the major thing that we're going to discuss in the call here, which is the job market. Will there still be jobs for developers? This is like so many people, even on my LinkedIn, ping me saying these concerning facts that we are interns, we are fresh graduates, we're still in colleges in third, fourth year. We don't know if we're going to get a job or not. And this is a constant fear. Without AI, I used to have. I used to think that, oh my God, I'm not like good enough. Will I ever get a job? And with AI, I feel like you all must be so much in pressure, because without AI, I was there. So with AI, it's just terrible. But let me tell you all, yes, but the questions companies are asking, it's changing. Like we discussed in the last lines, there are certain things which are changing. How people are assessing these candidates is changing, but nowhere your job is in danger. Let's talk about what are these questions. Can you work with AI? I tell this to every person, every ambassador which I meet from campus crew. Treat AI as a companion and not as a competition. When you stop competing with AI, that's the time when you start interacting with it much and you utilize the cool stuff that AI can do. AI alone cannot do anything, guys. AI is something which needs a lot of hand holding, which needs a lot of you know, prompts and good stuff. I think with the, if you just like go and tell AI build this, I don't think AI can do that. AI needs very detailing, right? Which is why prompt engineering went on a hype. So let's address the question: how do you work with AI? How do you treat AI? How do you build things with AI? Can you review an AI generated code? This is again a new thing which has come up in the market. Everybody is writing code through AI. I feel very less amount of people are writing it without AI. So can you actually, whatever code AI is writing, can you assess it? Can you review it? Can you find errors from it? Can you solve problems AI can't? And there actually are problems that AI cannot solve. So when in the company as well, when customers get on a call, why are we not having AI bots that can just solve the problem? So HackerRank has AI bots, right? Where customers can go, speak, discuss, and just hear out the problem. But that's only the one phase. After that, we have a question prompt in the bot which says, do you want to speak to someone in the team? Do you want to have a one-on-one conversation with somebody who's there in the support channel? Because that's a human to human interaction which changes a lot of things. So how can you solve certain problems that AI cannot? How can you understand the emotion of the customer, the requirement of the customer, and then based on that work with AI to solve it? So these are again some things which are very important. Can you think critically? Again, very important thing here. These questions, I think, are the ones, if you prepare for them, then I think you become the ideal employee that anybody would want to hire in 2026 and the coming years. So again, I'm not saying this is just something which is going to stay till December. I'm very sure we'll wake up next week, things are changed. A lot of things come in, a lot of things go. This is something which I've observed from the last 2 weeks, not from an year also, because everything is changing so drastically. So focus on how you can cope up, how you can make yourself self an asset, so that companies would definitely fight for you. Let's talk about how you can start. So you're starting in an AI first world, which is equally challenging. As I just said, I was from a world where AI didn't exist that time. It was difficult for me, and I can understand you all students are somewhere where AI is just not, not just there, but it's dominating the entire field right now. So it would be very difficult. I hear you guys, but it's also an advantage, people. You use AI to learn faster. I remember learning things in our time was so complicated. Like, I hated backend. Like, literally, I was a person who used to love front end, but I did not like backend at all. And now that I see that you have so many cool things where you can learn everyday new parts, you can learn backend so easily. You have so many guides, so many tips. It makes you more curious and it makes you understand things in a better way. So AI is there to make you learn faster. Everything that you want on your fingertips, you can use it to practice for your interviews. We never had that. And you can also use it to review your code. Like, I'm not telling you to just go copy it and just blast it, but why don't you just write something and get it reviewed from AI as well? Tell AI, can you tell me where I'm wrong, and can you tell me like why was I wrong? So understand from your mistakes. That is something which AI provides you. Don't become dependent on it, is what I'll say. What if one day it's just not working? You're done with your credits. You're maybe like one day, imagine you waking up and AI is gone. Like, how AI came in, AI is gone again. What would you do, right? So your skills are something that you should work on. Leverage AI, use AI to make yourself stand there where you can confidently say, I can work with AI. Don't make it sound like you're just like solely dependent on AI. Trust your skills, trust your gut, learn with AI, and that's what make you a great developer. So instead of asking AI to solve everything for you, ask it to teach you. Why is this better? What's wrong with my solution? How can I improve? These questions would make you understand your mistakes and would make you like an ideal developer as well. Okay, so again, another question. So, how many of you are worried AI might replace developer jobs? And without even seeing the chat box, guys, I can say everyone. And if I were in my college, I would raise my hand too, because even what about college? I still fear being in the company for last 3+ years. I still fear, what if AI is going to take my job? What if it's going to change everything that I've worked on, what I've learned on? So these are the questions which will make you panic every now and then. But don't worry, we're here to solve it out. So what we're seeing, AI hiring is for potential, not just programming languages. You need to think clearly and you need to explain their decisions. You need to debug methodologically. You need to collaborate with the team, learn new tools quickly. Coping up with everything that is there in the market is the only solution you're going to survive. It's not important that if you join a company as well tomorrow, you need to make yourself available so that you are flexible to learn new things. Sometimes I see people who are very, I would say, rigid. They're not willing to bend. I have even personally seen people till now who think that I don't want AI, I don't want to work with AI, I trust my skills. That's completely fine, but you're not coping up with the current trends, right? That makes you stand out, that makes you stand alone, I would say. Not somebody everybody would want to hire, because if you're not coping up with what's there in the market, if you're not following the trends, then you are considered backward, and then nobody would want to have you in their team. So just cope up, learn new tools quickly. There's so many cool tools every day, try it out. And I think the best part right now is a lot of them have free accesses as well. Like, a lot of AI tools are given out for free by companies. Try it out, see what you can build, see what they're lacking, see what you can improve. And I think just explore more, and that what definitely will help you a lot in your careers. Okay, so I want to address one thing here, guys. It's called HackerRank AI interview. So it's called Chakra. Few of you might know about it. HackerRank earlier used to conduct assessments on browsers. So whenever these companies used to come to campuses for hiring students using HackerRank, we used to have a URL. You copy that URL in the browser, and the assessment starts. But then we saw a lot of integrity issues coming in. A lot of people cheated, a lot of people copied using phone, tablets, AI, and a lot of other stuffs. So HackerRank has come up with a new thing called an AI interviewer, which runs on a particular platform, which runs on a particular app, which is called Chakra. What exactly is Chakra? Why we started Chakra? So the old way of hiring was find an engineer who's available, you schedule a time, you hope every interviewer evaluates consistently. It was a huge process. And I want to give you all a quick fun fact here as well. Do you all know why HackerRank started? Let me give you a quick history of it. My co-founder and founder, his name is Vivek Ravi Shankar, who's the CEO, and Harish Shankaran Karunanidhi, he's the co-founder of the company. Both of them were together in a college in India, NIT Trichy. They were best friends. Once the college got ended, they got placed into two different companies. Vivek used to work for Amazon and Hari used to work for Infosys. Both of them were into recruitment part. They went to a campus one day, and the process which was there in the campus hiring literally shook them, because they were literally seeing students who were holding a resume paper in their hands, recruiters sitting till 1 a.m. in the computer labs of every college, assessing students over and over again. It was both like torturous and draining, both for the candidate and for the recruiter, which is why even they thought that a lot of potential candidates were tired during their chance, and recruiters were also frustrated, because of which they lost a lot of good talent as well. So this entire process looked very manual to them, and which is why they started a small company called Interview Street. They started building it, got customers, got into YC. India's first company to get into YC was HackerRank, and then they named it as HackerRank. So this is how HackerRank started, and we envisioned this as a product which would definitely reduce the manual work of hiring and also be a better experience for students, which is why we have today in 2026 AI interviewer. It's called Chakra, where you go, you speak to an AI bot. Sometimes people feel that if a human is taking, they might be biased, they might not understand, they might not have that context, which is why we now have a bot. We have an AI tool which is entirely trained on everything, every product, every developer thing, everything which is there in the market. We train it every day, every minute. It knows what's happening in the tech industry. So whatever you're building, whatever you're saying, the bot already knows about it. So they cross question, they ask you everything, and then I think that's an unbiased opinion that they give at the end. Once your interview ends, there's an entire report which is generated, which is then sent to the recruiter. So the recruiter doesn't have to have technical knowledge. They can solely rely on the bot, and you can also be very relaxed that somebody who took your interview knew about what you have built. Imagine, guys, giving an interview of Amazon or maybe some big company you're very excited about, and the recruiter who's there in front of you has no context of what React is, or no context of what Java is. So it would not be fair for you, right, that the person doesn't know. And then how are you going to answer questions, and how are you going to cross question to him as well? Which is why this bot is there, who would understand all of your things and in return will give you an unbiased report. This is something we started very recently. We've been giving a lot of free credits of this to all the students. We're giving mock interview credits as well. I would love to send some credits to everyone who's there in the room today. Simanga, I would request you to give me email IDs of all of these people who are attending this session. HackerRank would love to give all of them free credits of this AI tool. So you all can try out this interview. And another fun fact, guys, this AI interview Chakra is used by, I think, 50 plus companies now from our customer base: Snowflake, Amazon, and a lot of other companies as well, even D. Shaw and Goldman Sachs. So if these companies are using this tool, you are getting free credits to try it out. Don't miss out it, because not everyone gets free access. Try it out, see what's bothering, see what's good, what's not. Let us know. Your feedback is valuable for us. Okay, so if I could leave you here with three thoughts at the end, here are my things. First, don't compete against AI. Learn to work with it. As I already said, make it your mantra for the day, mantra for the upcoming quarters, the remaining year. AI is here to stay. Treat AI as a companion, not as a competition. Work with it, learn from it, build with it. The second thing, never stop building fundamentals. As I said, don't fully rely on it, don't be dependable on it. AI can change, things can change. We can maybe go back to the Stone Age, just funny thing. But again, like, just don't rely on something. Trust yourself, trust the thought process, trust your skills, build with it, but also learn with it. Stay curious. Doesn't matter, guys. Any of you here in the call wants to be a marketer, wants to be a developer, a product manager, a CEO, a content creator, anything, any profession right now wants you to work with AI. Build with it, stay curious, learn things. AI is a vast, I would say, a sea and ocean where there's so much to learn. Learn everything you can while it's here, and just look at how opportunities are going to fall for you. I'm going to end this with the final slide, saying this isn't the end of software engineering for sure. As you would, I hope you all are feeling better now. Some of you might feel relaxed after all these blurbs that I've given, but it's just the beginning of a different kind of era which has started. Many of you are the ones who are shaping it. Many of you, I think, would be here who would build something out of this and would maybe start some AI cool startups as well. So I'm looking forward to all the cool things you all will build. Any questions, any thoughts, any concerns, even if you loved it, you did not like it, you just like saying I was talking like rubbish, feel free to let me know. I would love to hear all the cool feedbacks that you have. With that, thank you everyone. It was lovely speaking with you. If there are any questions, I would love to take them.
Thank you so much, Miss Joshi. Does anybody have questions? You can type in the chat or raise your hand.
I see there's a question in the chat box. The way AI is evolving, are there chances of replacing some roles completely? Yes, I would say. There are certain roles currently in the market which have been changed, and I can say that they're no longer there. Like I said, at HackerRank itself, we've changed certain roles. We are having more of forward deploy engineers, engineers who are not just specific to one particular thing. Like, they're not just relying on front end, they're not just relying on back end, because that's something that AI can easily take up, right? So we are changing certain roles. There are certain, I would say, roles which used to exist 2 years back which are not there. So things are changing, but I think it's not something which is like just being diluted. Just the names of it are changing, the way they're being treated are being changed. So roles are there, but their job has been changed, is what I'll say. How is AI and cybersecurity integrated, and what are the benefits? Okay, so I feel that AI right now is vast. It's like super super vast. We have so many things which are there in AI. And again, cybersecurity was something which was on a boost few years back. Right now I feel like, on the defensive side, if I have to say, AI is mainly used for detection and responses. Machine learning models trained on some network traffic, or I can say things like unusual logging patterns, lateral movements, all of these things. A human analyst can't review millions and millions of all of these events that happens in a day, right? So AI also shows up in an automated triage and response, where it helps basically prioritize alerts, and is likely like to trigger predefined some sort of actions as well. On the other offensive side, I would say that AI assists with these things, like any vulnerability which is there, any sort of automated, I can say, phishing, or I can just like sum it up saying that this is generally framed as defensive in purpose. There is also a generative side of AI as well. AI assisted code is there. Some coding patterns you can talk about. I can just like wrap it up. So it's worth noting on the other side of it as well. AI is a double-edged sword in security. Attackers, they are using the same kind of techniques, for phishing, for deep fake, we all know, which was so huge on social media, the automated vulnerability. So the integration isn't one directional. It's mostly serious security. Teams treat AI as both like a tool, and they also use and a capability that they have to defend against. So I think like that sums up the question there.
Hi, you may speak, Michael.
All right, evening again. I wanted to find out, I think I might have missed a part of the presentation. My question is not about AI, but about HackerRank itself. I remember at some point I was using it to learn C++, to
Mhm.
prepare for my degree, basically. But I
Okay.
wanted to find out, uh, do employers use HackerRank to find candidates or to find suitable candidates, and how do they do it? How can we use HackerRank to bolster our chances of getting interviews and so on?
Thank you for the question. As I was discussing in the slides as well, that HackerRank has two major roles to play in the industry. One is for developers and one is for the companies. Developers come to our platform in HRC. HRC is called HackerRank for Community. That's a separate product we have. And the second product is HackerRank for Work. That is for the companies. So if you are somebody who's willing to come on HackerRank and want to practice to get into these companies, I would recommend please go to HRC, which is HackerRank for Communities. You go there, it's an entire product that we've built for developers where you can go, practice, and then learn whatever these recruiters are asking. It's a free tool at some sort to some point. You get a lot of free things which you can try out. If you like it, we'll be more than happy to provide you certain discounts, and then you can buy it as well. If you are willing to get it for free, then we can also ask, you can ask Simanga to get you certain credits, and we can also provide that to you. But practice on HackRank. If you are a star performer on HackRank, then we also provide the top profiles to recruiters directly. Recruiters keep a close eye on the leaderboard, which is HackRank Community Leaderboard Global. If they see somebody coming on the top for a continuous week, then they directly reach out and hire them. So I think if you're consistent, if you have that streak on HackRank, then we will definitely provide you the opportunity from our side. Otherwise, the companies would for sure notice you.
Great. Does anyone else have questions?
I think there's one more question in the chat box. I'd like to take this. How accurate is it in terms of processing what I say? Like if I explain something in a way that would be easier understood in face-to-face setting. Okay, so that's a very good question. While we were building this AI interviewer, Chakra, this question was in our heads. What if it doesn't work out? What if that human to human interaction is lost? So I think currently, till now, we're not having any of these issues, because as I said, that the bot which is sitting for the interview, it's highly trained. It's even intelligent than you and me here. So it has all the information, it understands you, and we've treated it in a way, we have built it in a way that it has certain human emotions. Let me give you a funny part. When we were taking these AI interviewer sessions internally, I was talking to the interviewer, I was giving an interview, and I sneezed in between. Imagine a bot who's talking to you, you sneeze, and the bot says, God bless you. Are you okay? So these are the kind of like quick snippets that we've added in the AI interviewer, where it makes the interviewer more human. I'm very sure if you sneeze in an interview, the interviewer might not say God bless you, but the AI did. So these are the cool things we have trained our bot on. We've tried to make it as human as possible, as intelligent as possible. Till now we haven't seen any of these complaints where the person says that the bot was not able to understand me. Instead, the person says that the bot understood even things that I did not say. So till now all good. We're just waiting. If we see certain of these issues, we'll make sure that we train the bots in a more better way. But so far it is up to date.
Thank you very much, Ms. Joshi, for your engaging presentation and for sharing these exciting opportunities with us. We truly appreciate HackerRank's continued commitment to empowering students and helping us build the skills we need to succeed in the future of technology.
Thank you so much. It was lovely speaking to you all. Would be looking forward to catching up with you again pretty soon. With that, I'd like to end the call here. Thank you so much. Have a good day. Bye.
As we come to the end of today's session, I would like to extend our sincere gratitude to all the speakers for taking their time to share their knowledge and experiences. Thank you so much to everyone who joined us today. Your presence and participation made this event meaningful, and we hope you leave feeling inspired, informed, and motivated to continue with your journey in technology. Please remember to stay connected with us. There is a link on the chat. And once again, thank you. May you have a wonderful night.